Good morning students, welcome back. Today we are going to start our half yearly course and the chapter that we are going to study is chapter 3, Ecosystem. Student, whenever you are going to visit a forest, garden or desert area, you will find various diversity at that places. Diversity means different sizes of plants and animals you will see at that places. So, lake, forest, desert form they have their special characteristics. They have their special physical characteristics, and hence they are the good example of ecosystem. Ecosystem is the community of organisms living in a specific area, and the study of ecosystem is called ecology. Ecology is the study of interaction between living and non-living factors, and hence on that basis ecosystem has two components, biotic component and abiotic component. Biotic and abiotic component. All the living world forms biotic component. Bio means life. All the living world form biotic component, whereas non-living things form abiotic factor or component. So first we will see about the biotic component. Now what is biotic component? We will study in details. Biotic components include all the plants and organisms, all the plants and animals living in this world. So on the basis of their mode of nutrition, biotic component is categorized into three categories. First is producer. Second is consumer. And third is decomposer. These are the three categories of biotic component: producers, consumers and decomposer. Now we will study about the producer. What are producers and what are the examples of producers? All the green world means all the plants which are green in color, they are the good example of producers. They are called the producers of the ecosystem. Producers are also called autotrophs because they make their food by their self. Auto means self and trophs means feeder. So that they are called autotrophs. Autotrophs means making their food by themselves. So that green plants have, we all know that green plants are green in color because of the presence of green colored pigment, that is chlorophyll. And this chlorophyll helps the plants to trap sunlight and hence help in the process of photosynthesis. And we all know that what is photosynthesis process? It is the making of food by the plant. So that in this way producers makes their food by themselves, hence they are called the autotrophs, and they makes the link between biotic and abiotic factor. They are the feeders. They are the feeders of all the animals, and hence they makes the link between abiotic and biotic factor. This is all about the producers. All the green plant and algae are the good example of producers. Now the second part of the biotic is consumer. Consumers are also called heterotrophs. Why they are called heterotrophs? Because they present on the plant, they present on others for their food. So that they are called heterotrophs. they are called heterotrophs. Means hetero means others, depending on other for their feeding, so that they are called heterotrophs. All the animals directly or indirectly present on producers for their nutrition, for their feeding, so that they are called heterotrophs. And on the basis of indirectly or directly feeding, they are again categorized into 4 categories. First is the primary consumer. Primary consumers are also called herbivores because they eat only the green plants, and hence they are called primary consumer. Deer, cow, monkey are the good example of primary consumer. And the omnivores, we all know what is omnivores. The animals which feed both green vegetables and meat, they are called omnivores. And the omnivores who when eat only the green grass, they means vegetarian omnivores are also called primary consumer. This is all about the primary consumer. Now the second is the secondary. Secondary consumer are also called carnivores because they feed on primary consumer. Means they feed on deer, on cow. Means the example of secondary consumer is lion, tiger. They are the example of secondary consumer because lion feed on deer. They are called secondary consumer. Now the third is the tertiary consumer. Tertiary consumer are more energetic than the secondary consumer, so that they comes into this category. Like snake is the secondary consumer, but eagle is tertiary consumer because it is highly energetic than the snake, and hence it hunts the snake, and hence it is called tertiary consumer. And the fourth one is the quaternary consumer. They are also called scavengers because they feed on dead animals. They are called scavengers. Hyena, vulture, hawk. They are the example of quaternary consumer because they feed on dead bodies of secondary and tertiary consumer. The term detritivores, they are also called detritivores because they feed small particles of dead organisms. Hence they are called detritivores. This is the new term for you all. And quaternary consumers are also called detritivores. This is all about the consumer. Now the third part of the biotic component is decomposers. Decomposers feed on dead and decaying plants and animals and breaks the complex body into simpler nutrient form, into simpler usable form. And the good example of decomposers is bacteria and fungi. Anaerobic bacteria mostly comes into this. This is a decomposer, and their function is to break down the dead and decaying matter, that is complex matter, into simpler form, and hence they are also called the friend of ecosystem because in this way they help in cleaning the environment, and hence they also called eco-friend, means friend of ecosystem, because they help in cleaning the environment by eating dead and decaying matter of plants and animals. In this way we have completed the biotic factor. Now the second component of ecosystem is abiotic factor. factor means all the non-living things comes into abiotic factor, means sunlight, air, water, temperature. The first abiotic factor is sunlight. Sunlight is the good source of energy on this earth, because green pigment of plant traps sunlight and makes, and with that help plants makes their food, and this food continue the life on this earth. Hence sunlight is the good source of energy on this earth, and it also helps in making the temperature rise for living the most of the animals comfortably on this earth. So that sunlight is the very important abiotic factor. And second is the temperature. We all know most of the animals living in the range of 25 to 35 degrees centigrade, and most of the organisms also living in very low temperature, and this regulation of temperature is very necessary, and it is regulated by the air or wind on this earth, and hence temperature is also very necessary factor for survival of the life on this earth. Now the third one is the water. Students, we all know how much water is essential for our life. For the living world, how much water is essential. And many of our body function is regulated by the water, and plants also need water for performing the photosynthesis process, and hence water is very important. We all know that in our body have 90 to 95% of water, and in this way water is very essential. Most of the organisms and vegetation form in water only, and they are called aquatic world, and hence water is very essential component, abiotic component of this world, and it is regulated through the water cycle. Now the fourth one is the air. Like water, air is also very essential component of the abiotic factor, because without air we can't live. We never imagine for living, because oxygen is present in air, and we all know all organisms needs oxygen to breathe, and this oxygen comes out by the process of photosynthesis, and it is present in the air. In the same way, plants needs carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis, and it is also present in air. And in this way, we come to know how much air is important for our life. Air is also helps in regulating the temperature. I have taught you in temperature section, it regulates the temperature of the atmosphere, and hence air is very essential component of the abiotic factor for the survival of life. Now the fifth one is the soil. Soil formed by the breaking down of the rocks, and most of the organisms are living in soil, and they helps in converting the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates and nitrites. Hence they help in the for the plant, for the mineral, for their mineral needs. Soil is the good source of water and minerals, and hence soil is also very important. Most of the organisms living in soil, like rabbit, earthworm, they are living in the soil. So in this way, soil is also very important abiotic component for the survival of life. In this way, we have seen that how abiotic components are linked with the biotic component. Without biotic component, no abiotic components replenished or changed, and without abiotic component, no biotic components living in this world. So that this chapter helps us to come to know how abiotic component and biotic components are interacting with each other, and hope you must understand today's topic, and we will continue with next topic in next class. Till then, thank you.